Hey everyone, welcome back to ChaatNChat. My name is Josh.
My name is Miguel.
And we are watching Simmba. This is part 3, so if you missed part 1 or part 2, then you can check both of them out. Their link is in the description below this video. And if you like this video and you want to see more videos like these, be sure to turn on all notifications. और अगर अब तक नहीं किया, subscribe कीजिए, share कीजिए, like button पर थप्पड़ मारो.
चला दाखवूया.
Oh my.
No, I think you could because
अच्छे लोगों की रक्षा करो और बुरे लोगों का विनाश.
You know, they made a big point at the start of the movie saying that there's a camera inside the police station.
Yep. And
so if he could lure them there and get them on camera admitting to what they did, like in the police station in front of all the police, and use that as the new evidence.
चल फिर आज सीसीटीवी पर एक सुपर हिट.
Exactly. Everyone wants to see things on video.
Yeah, and show it to the brother of them dying. And then when they take him to court, somehow the footage is misplaced or erased.
सर्वांनी या डिनर लेके आया ना. वेरी गुड.
But this is kind of that staging thing, right? So they gotta lure them into trying to escape, and then they can have a direct encounter, which means they're eliminated, right? And if it's caught on film, then it's actually their alibi.
करता है हाँ घरतुल्ला. मेरे को तो लगता है इसका पुर्जा भी काम नहीं करता है.
Oh, the ego thing.
अभी अंडे से निकला नहीं कि अंदर हो गया.
सर मस्त अंडा करी है, खाओगे?
अरे खाएगा ना, खाएगा ना.
They're making me hungry.
पड़ता नामर्द का सर्टिफिकेट लेके ऐसे ही छूट जाते दोनों.
एकदम बरोबर बोललास. शक्ल से ही नामर्द लगते.
पण माहित नाही यार कशी जिवंत राहिली सारी.
And this guy's an idiot. Oh, they're luring him into it. He's not part of the plan. He doesn't know what's going on. This is kind of what they need to happen, but I don't know the laws, because this is... Also, he opened it and let him out. Oh, if they put a gun, put an empty gun.
होल्स्टर खोल के आगे जा. किसी तरह गन निकाल के दे डाल.
But take the ammo out, the clip out.
Wow.
And it looks like he's lifting it up to shoot him too. Well, not the guy on the left, but... A couple more. Make sure the job's done.
He got him to confess and executed them.
Well, yeah, and also got them to look super guilty. He had no option. They were gonna shoot him. They got guns.
दोनों ऑलरेडी अब चुप नहीं बैठे.
Let him do something stupid, get a gun or something, and then take him out too. He's really a big cause of all of it.
आई को क्या बोलेंगे रे?
Tell her the truth. It's on CCTV.
There were some dirty boys, and they tried to escape. Oh. Let's hope there's some CCTV in there too. Take him out during an encounter.
A lot of police there. They should be able to hold one guy down, but oh well. Maybe they're just letting him get to where he's just gonna go ahead and take him down.
Well, they gotta act like they're trying to stop him, but...
हाँ मेरा कोई भाई नहीं है. लेकिन वो तो अब तेरा भी नहीं है.
Oh, that was shade. Damn. Wow, that was some cold ass shade right there.
Yeah.
Wow. See, the thing is, what I'm liking what they're bringing in here is in the Singham movies, he always saw where he was like protecting as his family, you know, and that whole group. Here, he's starting to realize that.
अगर आकृति की जगह मैं होती तो
Yeah.
And that's what people
Bring
don't
the
like.
pressure on.
They don't like to hear that.
इनकर इंस्पेक्टर संग्राम भालेराव के ऊपर वो अटैक क्यों करेंगे? और सबसे जरूरी बात, हमने जो फुटेज देखा,
Oh, there was no audio.
ऑडियो नहीं सुना.
There should be audio. I mean, audio would actually help him even more because the dude confessed, really.
इस स्पेशल इंक्वायरी के लिए एक न्यूट्रल ऑफिसर स्टेट अपॉइंट करेगी.
ओके
Singham? Is it Singham?
Maybe.
That'd be a perfect cameo. I'd kill him in self-defense for real. Oh. How do you get the drop on this guy? Wow. Dude doesn't look very stealthy either. What the heck?
कि भालेराव गाड़ी से जा रहा था, उसको किसी ट्रक ने उड़ाया.
Yeah, I don't think so.
गाड़ी पानी
I
में गिरी.
think he's got too many friends now. You did.
ठोका, मैं तेरे भाई लोग को ठोका.
Oh.
Lowered it?
I have to say, most of the police cars are not exactly what I would consider like these vehicles of like great stealth or anything. But that coming through the window like that.
Oh,
there it comes.
That's his
There he
signature. Walking out of the moving car. Singham.
Yeah.
Raw.
Exactly. Hey, you need a little help?
And I'm sure Singham's gonna like his style too. He's like, dude, well played, well played. He's like, my last two movies I did sort of the same thing.
I love these little subtle things. He's like, oh, get out of my way. Gotta help my friend here. Hey, dude.
Aww, they got this bromance going.
Yeah! Oh, that was pretty cool. Let's do this. Shall we dance? All right.
He just walks.
Little teamwork there, a little tag team.
I like these little subtle like lion growls that you can hear in the background.
Yeah. Oh, that one looked a little rough on the neck. Oh wait, bricks.
Oh, but where did the bro
Yeah,
go?
where'd the nasty dude go? It's interesting how they always hide while they let the goons do a bunch of stuff.
Well, it's on brand.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, even in Bond movies and so forth, that happens that way. The goons, and then he's got to get to the big guy.
The final boss.
Yeah, the final boss. Got to take care of all the minions first. Oh, that guy got a funky hairdo. Hugsy? There. Oh, there he is.
Oh,
Finally.
they made it to boss level.
Yeah, boss level. I don't know you, but you're bad.
Oh, he's big too.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, I
They're
mean, I
both
knew he was
big dudes.
Yeah, but I knew he was big. But compared to like Ajay Devgn, this guy's like
Yeah.
big. That's when you know how big he really is. Because Ajay is kind of a big guy himself.
Oh, he's going to take both of them back to the car. They're like, yeah, no. Oh, get him down on the ground. Let him stay before we finally take him out.
Oh no, it's lion
the-
paw.
Yeah.
And the ringing of the. He's like, nah, let me teach you a move.
लेकिन इस क्राइम के लिए जस्टिस लेके आने के लिए सालों लग जाते सर।
तेरे को लगता है जो तूने किया तेरा तरीका सही था?
No.
वो मेरा तरीका कहाँ था सर? वो तो बाजीराव सिंघम का तरीका था।
And Singham ka style bhi hai na? He's like, yeah man, I like it.
सदाशिव और गौरव रानडे ने किया था। मैं दुर्वा रानडे की वाइफ और माँ को बुलाना चाहता हूँ।
Oh, twist.
Oh, nothing worse than having your mom and wife tattle on you. Again, it's that whole ego thing. They call it ego. It's the male thing.
तुला माहिती है तू क्या बोल रही है?
बस जो गलत है वो गलत है।
Got your brothers killed. Yeah.
जोशी जी आप इनसे कुछ सवाल करना चाहेंगे?
जी मैडम।
हे जोशी,
I'm not gonna drag us through the mud.
बहुत इज्जत करते हो तुम अपनी माँ की,
Yeah.
लेकिन अपने भाइयों को दूसरी।
Yeah. Exactly.
भारती जी आपने झूठ दी क्योंकि वो आपके बेटे थे। माफ कीजिए।
That like gulp. She knows it's true.
सेक्शन 22 ऑफ एनडीपीएस एक्ट के तहत 7 साल की रिगरस इम्प्रिजनमेंट की सजा सुनाती है।
Rigorous imprisonment.
What's that?
Oh, never heard of it. Sounds brutal though. Seems like 7 years is a little light though.
Yeah, little. Well, and then Wershett gets into prison and he becomes a,
जल्दी।
yeah.
मैं भी तेरे को इधर ही मिलेगा। तू निकल के व्हाट्सएप कर मेरे को।
Call me.
Basically,
Yeah, but see, they get into prison and then they, you know, they keep the
ये ख्याल आना बहुत जरूरी है कि कुछ एड़े खाकी वर्दी वाले आएंगे और ठोक के चले जाएंगे।
heck yeah, be the boogeyman for these guys.
yeah,
फैसला ताबड़तोड़।
yeah. Justice on the spot. Yeah.
And I think the chief put him in charge of the investigation because he knew Singham's reputation.
Yeah.
I mean, Singham's had a few encounters himself.
Yeah.
Oh, this is... Are they going to take him out?
जिंदगी झूठ के रास्ते चलता रहा, लेकिन सच्चाई ने उसे ढूंढ ही लिया।
Akshay
सूर्य
Kumar?
की तरह होता है।
That's Akshay Kumar's voice.
Congrats, आप ATS चीफ बन गए। जल्दी मिलेंगे।
थैंक यू। बहुत जल्द मुलाकात होगी आपसे।
Oh. Yeah, and he's the next one, right?
yeah.
Suryavanshi?
Yeah.
Taking charge in 2019.
Woo! It's what was that dancer that used to do those pants?
Hammer?
MC Hammer.
MC
That's
Hammer.
right. Yeah.
Wow, here they put visual effects at the head too. I appreciate any time credits put visual effects at this head.
At the front.
Yeah. Another movie where they didn't really solve the love interest.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
You
they
know,
leave
it's,
it
it's always
dangling.
leave it dangling. In all 3 movies so far, it's been that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. They're hard men to catch.
Well, that was a really fun cameo with Ajay Devgn. And then another tease for the next movie, Suryavanshi, with Akshay Kumar.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. And maybe we'll see all 3 of them in that one, like a big team up.
Yeah.
Gonna make. So, how did you like this? You know, this is the 3rd one now in the series. So, what did you think?
quite a bit different. The character started off from a very different place. He didn't have that strong integrity component, and he was really just out for himself.
Yeah, it was very opposite.
Very opposite.
Of, Singham,
Right,
Ajay Devgn's
right.
character. I mean, very opposite.
Very opposite. And it was, and like I said several times, kept reminding me a little bit of Max Headroom and Smedley Whiplash, two characters much older.
No one's going to get those.
Maybe, but
I have no idea.
Yeah, but it was kind of hard for me to see past that. So I just kind of took it as it was a comical characteristic of him, fast talking, the quick wit and other things.
Well, you notice he quit doing that once it got serious, because once
yes.
he changed the vibes, I mean, he really took more of a serious role, because before that, I think you mentioned something like he's almost acting kind of like a kid.
Yep.
And he wasn't taking anything seriously. Yep. He didn't respect the uniform.
No.
And he only saw the uniform as power and money.
Right.
And no respect.
Right.
And then things really started changing.
Yeah, so the maturity level, I would say, it was he hadn't ever maybe dealt with a lot of emotions in his life, because he, as a little kid and as an orphan, he was just struggling to survive and get by in life and everything. So you saw it when anytime he had real strong emotions, she suddenly got up and, said, all you have to say is, I love you. And, he suddenly, as he says, what did he say?
I feel shy.
I feel shy. That's probably what he was thinking it was, but I don't think it was shy. I think he was overwhelmed by all of his emotions of, hey, this person actually really, really likes me, and this is probably his first little taste of love and being showered with it. So you saw it there, and then the reality of this terrible thing happened, and you saw him, he was just kept pulling back and pulling back and pulling back, and he, even the way he let go of her hand, he's like going, this is too much for me. And so I definitely think that the character did shift at that point, and he suddenly became much more serious and began doing that internal reset for himself to say, what's going on here? I'm part of this. What I've been doing has been hurting people, and I never really thought of it in that context. And so if you think about it, most children, as they grow up, they do that shift as well. They start to stop thinking of just themselves and things always flowing their way, and they start thinking about others and being empathetic to others and helping others and being,
hope
more.
So,
yeah,
if they're raised right.
If they're raised
but
right,
doesn't mean
exactly,
they will be.
exactly. So I think that was kind of how that arc was going with him, and I think that was a really good way of pulling it all together. And then again, as we've said before, I do like these themes where there are bigger social issues that they're trying to address. The whole bit of how women are treated differently than boys, even though people are acknowledging this is a huge issue in crime, all these rapes happening, and they're just continuing to get bigger and bigger and everything, but yet no one is willing to take the stand to do stuff about it, even though the consensus of the general public is, and it needs to be addressed very straight on.
The corruption and stuff.
Exactly.
I mean, they have laws in place. It's illegal to do, and there are penalties for it, but just with all the corruption and loopholes and all that to get out and then have another date set and another date set and another date set.
Right.
I think Sunnydale said it perfectly in the Domini movie that we were watching, like Tariq ke baad Tariq, like date after date, and where's the justice? So what would you rate it?
So I'm gonna give it a 7. I found it a little tedious in some places.
Wow, so you like Singham Returns more than this one?
Yeah, this one, it had a few spots where I was just like, ugh, it's just kind of dragging, and I'm like, I was like, where are we going with this?
Like, where was it?
I guess I never saw the completion, the orphans, and the whole muling there.
Sure,
they kept bringing it in, and it kept
holes.
getting kind of all muddied and murkied and everything. I get what was going on, but it was like, it never followed through. You never found out what happened to the Chotu.
Yeah, or the kids, because the kids disappeared too.
Exactly.
So the kids were gone and Chotu was gone.
Did they all end up killed out in the river or whatever?
Never locate them? Because to me, that would be like a high priority. Their children, go find them. Okay, so you gave it a 7. I have a lot of mixed feelings for this.
Okay.
If I was judging this on the first half, like before he became a good officer, I wasn't into that story because I was just like, there's no one here to root for. Who am I rooting for? Because You know, I guess I'm stereotypical, like that kind of hero and stuff. That's why I really like the first Singha movie, is because straight off the bat, like he's
You knew who it
firing
was.
straight arrow.
Yeah.
He's a great guy. You want to root for him. Things are bad happening and you feel bad, but the hero rises above. But then again, these stories are needed too, like, because it shows that there's a hero maybe in all of us, even if we don't start off seeing ourselves as a hero.
Yep.
So I like that idea. And once I started thinking, the thing that turned me around in that way of thinking is when you said that when he grew up as an orphan, he was only thinking, like, looking out for himself. And that explains a lot to me of how he could do all those things to those people, like take the land and accept the money to help kick this grandpa and his granddaughter off the land. Because it doesn't matter to him. He's like, dude, you look out for yourself. I'm looking out for myself.
I got you $5 million. I got $5 million. Hey, everyone wins.
And he's like, you know, like, but not just that. He didn't give a crap. Like, he didn't care, because he's like, look, man, when it comes to the streets, you think about yourself and you come first. And you know, you always think about yourself first. And that's how he survived. That's how he got what he wanted. And that's how he achieved everything he achieved in life, is looking out for number one, because no one else was out there to look out for him.
Exactly.
And so I started giving more credit to that first half because of that line of thinking. But then once you bring in the overall theme of her being brutally killed and sexually assaulted and all that, my big issue with all of these movies that think they're being trendy and trying to say something about this subject, they all go to the same place, which is, well, could you imagine if she was your daughter? Why does it matter? She's a woman. She's a human being.
Right.
You don't have to try to relate to somebody because they're your daughter, your mother, your sister. And that irks the hell out of me, that to get someone to understand that you shouldn't treat a woman like that is to make it more personal for them. Like, you should have a decency to think that that person is a human being and to be respected, and that not because like, oh, she's somebody's daughter or somebody's mother or somebody's wife. I mean, bullshit to all of that. She's a woman. She's a human. She deserves respect and not to be taken advantage of like that. And in every one of these movies, they resort to that. In the courtroom, they resorted to it. In The Mom, and saying like, okay, well, if you had these instead of that, but they were daughters instead of this, could you say that? I mean, all over this movie, and it's all these movies, even Hollywood. Hollywood does the same thing. So many of these movies, when they bring this, they always try to bring up the fact that, well, could you imagine if it was your daughter? Oh yeah, imagine that. Oh, that would be so bad. Now I feel for you because now I'm thinking of it like it's my daughter. Oh man, I could go on and on about that.
But I think part of it is because it has become too commonplace, and people become, if they hear about it often, you tend to get detached from it, and you don't tend to think of it as close or as relatable to you.
Man.
And people have to be shocked back into it to suddenly go, oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
guess.
why is that a shock? Like, it shocks me
get it.
anytime I hear it. Like, anytime, and then it's like seeing this represented on screen and stuff, it's always so horrible and disgusting that I just, it's really hard to watch anytime this is brought up. And it doesn't do anything to help the shock value to think that it could be my sister or something like that. I'm like, no, I don't have to see a woman as my sister, my mother, my daughter, to have that affect me. And I was thinking they were going to get to a place, because Simba's didn't have that relationship with her and didn't have any mother or sister or daughter. So I was like, okay, well, maybe this is a way you could say that it affected him. But no, because he saw her as his sister.
Yeah.
So they even brought that in, because I was going to say, oh, well, maybe she could have just been a friend. She can't just be a friend. He has to see her as a sister. And that is what it affected him so much. But he has his own story. So for him to take someone in as family and being an orphan, so family meant something, which I give a password that he sees her as a sister. And for him, the ultimate compliment would be considering somebody family. For an orphan to call you their family, I think would be the ultimate compliment.
Yes.
And I just, so for him saying you're like my younger sister, I think that it was huge, and that made it really affect him. And as to your point, when he was dealing with those emotions, all of a sudden it was like like making him break and crush and fall apart. And it started like opening things up in his mind that he closed off because he wasn't thinking of anyone as family. But then when this happened, it just broke, like broke a dam that he made, like all this emotions, you know, even they said, they're like, oh, you don't have any emotions watching a grandpa get like kicked off his own land. And he even stuck his head out the window and looked back and looked at him and then looked forward and he's like, man, I just made like, you know, 50 lakh or, you know.
5 million. I don't remember the translation anyhow. So it was a lot.
Yeah,
So.
50 lakh is 5 million.
Yeah.
It's the commas are in different places. So
Yeah,
it's
and that's
3
what-
zeros, comma, 2 zeros,
zeros, comma.
So that is my piece. That is why I have mixed feelings about all of this. And then also, these movies aren't doing a very good job at showing any like real courtroom justice at all, and has no faith in the court system.
It really doesn't.
I have no idea, so I can't really judge anything because I've never been to Indian court. I've never been sued. I've never had to go to court for anything while I was living in India. I never had that experience. So I don't know what court is like there. But watching on movies, it's like, dude, you can't just trust the court. Like, Singham comes in busting up and saying like, dude, I like your style because I kill all my villains too, straight up. Now, for them, they have the evidence, they have the proof. I mean, Simmba actually literally saw everything going out. And Singham as well knew all of this. But getting it proved in court is another story, especially when you have freaking corrupt evidence room people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's insane. So he knew he had the evidence, he knew they did it, and they had witnesses, all that sort of stuff. So for him to take him out, they were going to get the death penalty anyway if they were convicted. So he just
Took it.
gave him justice.
In the U.S., it's all about having timely justice as well. There is a certain element of that, although the court systems now are so overloaded that oftentimes it's, you know, it's working as fast as it can with the caseload that it has. But yeah, with swift justice in this case, yeah.
So
and also, I mean, if I really want to nitpick, I just, in lots of ways also, it just amazes me how it's not a huge investment for there to be proper police evidence, protections, and other things put into place so that it's not as simple as just paying off one person in that evidence.
But the thing is they don't pay. The problem is, and this is also a problem in police, and same goes for our police, although our police have been getting like life improvements, all that sort of stuff. But in India, the salary is not as high as a lot of these goons are making. So for them to pay off cops, it's like, dude, I'm going to get my entire year's salary just in doing this one thing. I mean, imagine. And then also going back to Simba's life is it's like, yeah, I have things to take care of. I'm looking out for myself. Yeah. And then that cop that was
his daughter, you know, having to pay for, you know,
yeah,
it's
and
a tough call.
He gets backed into a position because I'm sure he would have eventually cracked because I mean, when it comes to your daughter and your family and they have things that they need in school and all this money, money is a big thing, you know, and so when you're not making enough money and yet you are one of the lines between good and evil, it's like, how can you not pay them more?
You have to move it a little bit. You have to move the line a little bit.
And decide where it is that you're going to draw that hard line. For Simmba, he definitely made it very clear where he drew the line of what he was willing to accept.
Right.
So, I mean, and I think that's why, is if you hire people like that, they're still going to be bought off. And it's a horrible situation. And what is the answer? I mean, to pay them, you need more money. But then it's like, is the government not corrupt to put that money where it's supposed to be?
Right.
Because I mean, our government and our expenditures and all that sort of stuff is one hell of a mess. And so oftentimes when money is actually spent there, it's not, and it's diverted somewhere else and spent somewhere completely different.
Right.
So I'm not going to get into politics and all that sort of stuff, but let's see. In the beginning, before I came to the realization of why Simmba was doing what he was doing, I was like really not liking the movie. It was like around like a 4, a 5 in the beginning. But then as I got that realization and I started seeing a very deep character arc within him, I started appreciating it a little bit more. But there were some issues with loopholes that you pointed out, like what happened to the kids, what happened to Chotu, you know, all of these things. and stories that didn't pay off. Like, again, we didn't know what happens with the girls. And
Even at the end, throw us a little
did
bite
they get
at the
married?
end,
Like,
you know,
I have no
sure
idea.
getting cuddly or something, you know?
Dude,
Yeah.
it was like straight up like, that story's over. We're going to go murder somebody, and then that's the end. So, you know, so there were some loopholes. But then again, the saving grace, there were some really good numbers in this one. So I really like Ankamare. That song it's on my party playlist, you know? like when we have a dance party stuff, like that song is on the playlist.
Oh, okay.
So you've probably heard it before.
Probably.
I'm surprised you didn't recognize it. So I like the music in the movie, so that was a little redeeming as well. So I move it up to a 7. So I matched you with the 7. But,
Okay, all right.
Yeah. But I'm very interested to know what you guys thought. What are your opinions, ratings? You know, what were your views on this? We've seen actually this theme in a number of movies now, which is, I mean, with how the numbers are staggering with what he pointed out in the courtroom, I can understand why there are so many movies being made with this theme to try to really press the issue.
Right.
So
I have an interesting little question that I just want to throw out there. How do you think that actual police officers in India take these movies?
I know a couple of reviews, like I've had comments from people that are actual officers in India. So, I mean, yeah.
I'll have to look for those.
Yeah, how do you view this movie? How do you view how cops are being portrayed here on film? I'm curious because there's a lot of movies that actually do not show cops in a very good light.
Yeah.
Actually, this is both sides. It shows the corruption, and it also
good
shows
sides.
like Singham, which is almost non-corrupt until it comes to like murder
Pulling a
by
gun.
police. So anyway, let us know in the comments. And if you like this video and you want to see more videos like these, then be sure to turn on all notifications. और अगर अब तक नहीं किया, subscribe कीजिए, share कीजिए, और like button पर tap कर मारिए.